What's going on, world? I got my name Louis 13th, aka the Humble King, and I kind of want to break down the conversation. Regarding delusion, it's based off of a podcast called the Fresh and Fit Podcast. If you not heard about them, they do have some factual information, but they're normally with the fuckery. So I want to break it whole down. I want to show the actual true delusion that women do have, but honestly, a lot of men have delusion, especially men like this who tries to use statistics to make their point make sense. And I'm in a good mood. It's a late night. We're drinking. Let's have fun. Let's talk about it. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and hit play and see what's going on with it. All right. Let's go.
Yo, y'all live in a fucking Disney fairy tale, man. If I'm gonna be all the way about it, like, goddamn, like it's. I used to think that, like, just some girls are delusional. It's not all of them, whatever. But a staggering amount, I would say, better than 80% of the women that we brought on the show live in a Disney fairy tale. And what I've come to realize, I've noticed a kind of a correlation. And I know correlation is not necessarily causation, but what I've noticed is the more attractive the girl, the more in La La Land she is. You know what I'm saying? And the less attractive she is, the more down to earth and realistic she is. And what I've come to realize, from, talking with hundreds of women, dating them, going through phones, whatever, obviously with their consent, right? Looking at the amount of messages they get, because we use it for experimental reasons, is that when you're in a privileged position, you don't have to deal with uncomfortable realities that other people deal with. And it kind of puts you in a position where you're able to essentially believe in fairy tales that best serve your reality.
What? I have not been dealt a very privileged hand of cards, even remotely.
Let's talk about that. Okay. I get what he's saying regarding privilege. Yes, most women are privileged. When I say that, when he says it, I believe he's speaking about the fact that most women get approached. Culturally, society wise, men usually approach women when women wait till their men approach them. Is there women who do approach men? Of course. So I'm not talking to you, but the statistics and the ratio of who does the approaching is definitely higher with women. Let's be real about it. When you see a clip posted where a woman proposes to a man, it's like, all right, sis, what do you got going on? It's kind of weird, but okay. But when a man does it, it's pretty normal, correct? So let's not act like it's not a real thing. That is a factual thing. And most women are privileged for that. Whether you're being approached for a relationship, whether you're being approached to just talk to, whether you're being approached to get, sex, we approach y'all more. It's not as big vice versa. Now, if the man's very attractive or has certain type of status, and of course, but that's the privilege he's speaking about, okay? Well, let's not act like it's not a real thing for real. Like, come on now. All right, let's see. Play.
I don't understand.
I don't think he's talking about like your upbringing. I think he's talking about how it has to do with like your beauty against guys.
But it's not even just about that. We're groomed to be like that. It's romanticism and everything in media and all types of shit.
That's a fair point.
And we just now have like Moana and shit. Just the fuck now.
I was going to get into that, but the point I'm trying to make is that men have to live in a fact-based reality to get what we want. Women don't have to. Since you guys are in a privileged position where the opposite gender approaches you for mating purposes, you don't necessarily have to self-improve to the same degree and or know uncomfortable realities about dealing with the opposite gender, whereas men do. Any guy that's good at women knows certain unalienable traits that you need to have to be attractive to women that aren't flattering. You don't text her back. You don't necessarily give her all the attention she wants. You don't put her on a pedestal. You kind of treat her like shit now and then just to let her know that, hey.
Okay, he's using it the wrong way. What he's saying is, all right, I can use myself for example. I think I'm a rather attractive guy, okay? If you don't think it, I don't care. My life says different. But what I would say is that I've noticed with, certain women, and it's either worked for me or backfire, where if I know you're highly coveted and wanted by a lot of men, I will put the pressure to get you or get to you, but I'm not going to treat you like them. I'm not going to be a groupie. I'm not going to be overly I'm not going to do that. In the moments where I need to be overly on you and applying that pressure, I will definitely do that. But women like that, they're used to guys constantly approaching them. So you have to you got to find a different approach. And you got to let them know like, yo, I'm a catch too. And when you do that, it makes them feel like, oh, okay, he knows what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an interesting cat and mouse game when it comes between men and women in the courtship that goes down. But when you seem overly just infatuated and overly pressuring, it can throw a woman off and it makes you seem very obvious, or it makes you seem like everybody else, even though you might not be, but that's just how it is. But that's a part of like, dating and getting to know a person and, putting yourself out there in an actual game. And whether you're charming or not. So I think that's what he's trying to say, but he don't get nothing. He don't get nothing for real, man.
You're not better than me. It is what it is. Unflattering things is what gets girls attracted and, more importantly, aroused. Okay. And women don't necessarily have to know these things because y'all are the ones that get approached. So we've noticed that a lot of girls, have unreal expectations about what they think they deserve or what they're entitled to as far as a man goes. And we have a delusional calculator that we use. And I would say better part of, 8 or 9 out of 10 girls always picks a guy that's in like the top 2%. And it's crazy because I'm like, what makes you think that you're going to be able to get this guy and, more importantly, keep him and have him give you the title of his girlfriend, And they say, well, he's out there. I'm going to get him. I'm manifested, girl. We literally had to put a clip up where a girl scored a 0% on her man, 6'5", certain amount of money per year, etc. 0%. She scored 5 out of 5 cat bags. And and the girls at the table literally looked her dead in the eye and said, manifested, girl, he's out there. And she's like, yeah, he is. And in my head, I'm like, that's the most destructive advice because a big predicator on female happiness is a family and children, not career. So you're literally setting this woman up to fail, telling her, oh, manifest it, whatever. And I said, if you jumped out of an airplane and I told you your parachute has a 0% chance of deploying, would you jump out? No. So why the fuck would you go and look for this unicorn of a man, that isn't going to be
not her friends, but
also, and here's the thing. It is just because, and the last thing I want to say in the alternative melody is that I've come to realize, to bring it in closing, is women operate on possibilities versus probabilities. Men have to operate on probabilities. Hey, what's the probability that this is going to be successful? 80%, 90%, whatever. Okay, cool. That's a high chance of, that's a low chance of risk. I'm going to do.
What he's saying is not false. Okay. Probability in for women, probability and possibility is what he's saying, right? For men, we don't get the same respect per se that women get. In other words, if we see a woman, we can look at them visually in most cases and say, you know what, I see potential in her, even though there's no potential necessarily, or it might not be potential. We will make that initial approach based off of aesthetics and looks first. You can be working at Burger King, and if we're in a certain place, we're like, we don't gotta work. It's all good. You look sexy next to me. There's men who will just go ahead and just get you and move you up. If a woman sees a man and he does not seem as if he is trying to attain more, let's flip it. If the man's working at Burger King or even Chick-fil-A, I love Chick-fil-A, and he is a certain age and he's trying to approach you, you're not going to say, oh, he looks like he's a candidate. No, you're not, because you look at certain different things in a week. You see a woman dating an ugly nigga all the time. Ugly guy, excuse me, all the time. And it's normal because and if we see that, we're like, oh, he must got money. He could be a very nice guy. He could be very safe for her, actually. But at the end of the day, when we approach women, because we're used to being shut down, we're more so focused on possibly getting the ones that might say yes compared to trying to shoot our shot up, because it doesn't normally work for us. In some cases, can we get that? Can we get the woman who's above us as far as financially, because that's things we value? Then yeah, we possibly can, but it doesn't happen that obvious. I mean, that often. Do we get sugar mama sometimes? Sure, I had the opportunity a few times. It ain't happened in a while, but I had it like a couple times in my life, and I was like, well, goddamn. Either way, women have more opportunities, and they can focus more so on the what ifs. And you can think about the pop culture of like Pretty Woman. You see prostitutes get picked up by the guy that falls in love with them some reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you see certain women that for a goddamn fact don't got no money, but she's on a yacht. How did you get on the yacht? Did you earn that? Did you pay for anything? No. So, that's what he's speaking of, okay? He just says it in a really lame way because he's a lame ass dude.
do it. Women, on the other hand, this guy is 0.001% of the population. I don't give a fuck. He's out there. I'm not settling until I find him. And that, you know, that's just, and that's to their own detriment because they sit there, and time passes. And as time passes, women lose value. It is what it is. I hate to say it like that. Men age like wine. They do the work, and women tend to age like milk because y'all only have a finite amount of time to be able to get the best man that you can get.
I think
so.
We can all.
That's all I was going to say. Melody, go ahead.
Something.
Let's clarify that. Okay, I get what he's saying. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but it does flip, right? You see a lot of, now granted, you might see a lot of older women with money dating younger guys, right? You will definitely see that, but you don't see a lot of younger guys dating older women. Does it happen? Of course. That's also based off of preference, but you will see a lot of older men dating younger women, you know, due to the vitality, by the way they make them feel, and also a lot of younger women, you know, especially if they're that type of preference, they might say, "Oh, he got his shit together," you know, and they might accept that. But you don't see the flip flop that often. It's also for a different reason and a different way what they're seeing. But to say that, I will say that men tend to get better over time as far as we're a bit more mature, we're a bit more focused, and a lot of younger women meet young guys who not on their shit, but they meet an older guy who got his set together, you know, puts on the suit and the tie, and he has his credit together, he has 401k, he has entrepreneurship, he has his life together because as we tend to get older, we tend to mature more, and we mature. In most cases, women mature faster than men, so you will see a lot of older men dating younger girls. Again, both of them for different reasons, but you will see it more often. Okay.
I would like, excuse me, something I would like to comment on is that I played around with a little delusion calculator in my free time.
Okay.
Okay, and if you press exclude married 50%, like it decreases by 50%. So 50% of all people are married.
Yeah, it's based on the U.S. Census. So yeah, there's. I wouldn't say 50%.
I was Googling it. It's not accurate. Like I was literally sitting there with like my friend who's a lawyer, and he was like, "Nah, this is cap. This is cap."
It's based on the U.S. Census.
Post law.
Facts. Post law.
And are you saying if you get rid of the married men?
Yeah, like if you just press exclude on the little thing. Like I remember like sitting there playing with it. Like your thing is flawed. Like it's not really that accurate. But I can come back with some like facts on it too if you want me to.
Sure. I mean, you're not prepared now, but yeah, it's based on the 2020 U.S. Census. So if you include married men,
2020,
it's gonna 2020. If you include married men, it's gonna obviously increase it drastically. But most girls don't want to deal with a married guy.
Yeah, but then that was implying that 50% of people are married, and that's not true. 50% of all people are not married.
In the U.S., maybe.
That's not true.
Probably not, right?
Remember, you're accounting for all men. Gay men, straight men, were married, divorced, whatever. You got to remember that sometimes when people are married, right? There's a lot of people that are still married on paper, but are still that are technically separated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So there's that as well. But it's based off the U.S. Census, so it's accurate data. But the thing is that let's keep it real. Most girls, that's not even a point because that's an irrelevant point because most women that come on always say, "I don't want a married man. I want a man that's single." Mm-hmm. So even if we want to add in the extra married people, yeah, it'll increase it. But most women don't even want a married guy. They ain't going to share. Like, no, fuck that. It's going to be my boyfriend.
Yeah, but that just led me to believe that there was more of it that was just like not really that accurate because that was a strong...
What did you punch into the calculator exactly? You probably put some other shit in there.
Everything. I swear to God, I was like, okay, let me be... I was like, let me be realistic. I didn't score more than like a fucking 3%, like 5% maybe. Maybe it was a 5. But like,
so the guy that you want is
no. I put
rare.
like 80 years old. I put a lot. It was very hard. You have to literally accept... You have to put everything all the way. Married people, fat people, all of it. As little money, any money possible. No, that's the only way you can get it to be realistic.
Well, here's the thing. The height changes things a lot in the money.
Yeah, you can put any. That's an option. I put any.
No, it only lets you go to 500. That's how I know you kept.
What, the money?
Yeah, 500K.
No, you can put any. No. Okay, well the other ones are any.
That's
either way.
No.
It's not
our calculator.
That's the wrong calculator.
You know, it's not our calculator because it caps out at 500K.
Yep.
Okay, well, there's 2 other ones that gave me the any option, so I apologize. I put any for the other 2.
But that makes a huge variable.
I'm saying no.
Income is a huge variable.
I put all of it. I'm telling you. I
you know how we can fix this? We'll do it now.
Yeah, we can do it now. If you want
now.
We can put your guy in here
live.
Okay.
After the video.
You have anything to say, by the way, as far as like that was my reason why I think women live in a Disney fairy tale? All right. Fuck you, Myron. All right, cool. $20. FaZe Allen, Asian girls. Is it offensive to?
Oh no, man. Like, I feel like they really tend to purposely try to use certain women that they know they can't argue with them, and they try to use certain points that definitely are focused more so on gaslighting conversations to get their point across. I think people are noticing it honestly, but at the end of the day, there is a difference, and there is delusion on both sides. It's just based off of what side you're on in the situation, right? And if you're delusional, and I tell you you're delusional, you don't like to hear it. Most people don't like to hear they're delusional because they're delusional, so they don't believe it, right? And that goes same thing, vice versa, whether it's a woman or man. So I'm gonna end it at that. It's been a long night. I'm gonna say I go again. My name is Louis 13th, aka the Humble King, and this is the Sarcastically Woke podcast. And we're gonna jump into more conversations and really deep dive into what's really happening. Okay. Yeah.